It was a simple task, washing windows. The worker tied a 5-gallon bucket of cleaning solution to the top of the ladder, climbed the ladder with tools, then turned facing the window, using the heels of his work boots to balance himself near the ladder's top rung. The force of the worker's action on the top-heavy ladder caused it to tip over. A foreman from a different company heard the crash and called 911.
911, what's your emergency?
When EMS arrived minutes later, the worker was unresponsive and having seizures. He was taken to a hospital where he died 14 hours later.
This fall right here could have been prevented with the right training and knowledge. If the worker knew not to use the top 2 rungs and have a bucket hanging from the other side, it could have prevented the fall. This brings us to our topic of fall protection. My name is Etisham, and I will be presenting this PowerPoint on the research that I have conducted for our Occupational Health and Safety class taught by Professor Jason Dipty. Fall protection. What is fall protection? Regulations, real-life accidents, preventions. What is fall protection? Fall protection is the safety precautions and protocols when there is any type of possible fall hazards at the workplace. So the topics for fall protection are types of fall hazards, causes/injuries, regulations, safety equipment, preventions, where can it occur, and real-life accidents/injuries. So types of fall hazards. There are 3 main types of fall hazards. First one is trips. So trips can be if there's an obstacle in your way, or if the bad arrangement of the floor, so if there's like a lot of wiring around and you can trip over that, or if you don't have the proper footwear. As you can see, another hazard, or here you can see in the picture, there's a guy, he's cutting wood off his leg, which is really bad. Anything can happen. He can cut himself. He could die from that too. Slips. So slips can be if the surface is like too slippery. You don't have the proper footwear, so you don't have slip-resistant shoes, or if the floor is wet and there's no wet floor sign, that can cause you to slip. Fall. Fall is a combination of trip and slip factors. So it could be improper ladder use. So you can be using, just like in the video, you can be using the ladder on the top 2 rungs and you can tip over. And if you're not using your safety equipment properly, just like in the picture, the man that's cutting wood, he's cutting it off the table, which is fine. He's wearing safety glasses, he has gloves on, but he has no hard hat. Pieces of the wood can break off and hit his head potentially, and that could cause him to have a really severe incident. Causes/injuries. So there are many causes why a person may get injured in a workplace. So first of all, it could be due to their footwear. They could be working on a construction site and be wearing regular running shoes. That's not good either. I've seen people in construction sites wear regular type of shoes and accidentally nail themselves in the foot with a nail gun. For a footwear, you could be working in a kitchen. I've seen people wear slippers in the kitchen, and that's really bad too. You should be wearing slip-resistant shoes. And also, if there is lack of signs, missing safety signs, so you can walk into a construction site and there's no sign that you should wear a hard hat, safety glasses, which is necessary. Also, if the floor is wet and there's no sign, that's really bad too. So the next one is poor arrangement. So the workplace setup, if it's really bad, if you have to walk underneath machinery, or if there's like wires on the floor and nothing is set up properly, that's bad too. Lack of training. So say a person is new on the site, they get trained for 1 day, tell them the basics. They might not remember it because they don't have enough training. So improper use or no use of safety equipment. So for example, a person does not know how to use a ladder properly, and you tell them to go use a ladder. That's really bad too. They should know how to use a ladder. They should be properly trained on it. Another one is obstacles in the working area. So just like I said before, there could be wires on the ground, or walking underneath machinery, and that's really bad. Slippery surfaces. So slippery surfaces could be due to weather. It could be icy outside, and you're working outside. That's another hazard. Or if you're working in the kitchen and then there's oil and grease on the floor, you could slip on that potentially. So about 20-30% of people who fall at the workplace can go through mild or serious injuries, from bruises to fractures or even head injuries. The common fractures are spine, hip, forearm, leg, ankle, pelvis, upper arm and hand. So these are some common ones. In most severe cases, it's death on impact due to height, or depends. So I had a friend who was working with boilers, and he missed his placing, and he fell down, and he hit his head on the boiler right behind him, and he died because of that. So regulations. So the following regulations are from the Ministry of Labor. So they say protection and safety equipment is a must when falling from a height of 3 meters or more, falling into active machinery, falling into water or a different liquid, falling into hazardous substance or object, falling through an opening in a work surface. Other regulations. So employers must provide workers with proper equipment. So it should be up to date. You can't be using a rusty ladder or a ladder with missing bolts. Use of signs. There should be signs all around so the worker knows. And the workers are trained, and they should be trained and pass any examinations or classes to work. Like in most, say you work in a kitchen, you need to go through like slip and resistant shoes training and stuff. Or if you're working with the chemicals, you need to go through WMIS and MSDS. So depending on the job, workers should be trained. So safety equipment. Some of the safety equipment that are required in the workplace are lifts, lifeline, guardrail system, full body harness, anchorage, fall arrest protection, safety shoes, safety signs, gloves, um, safety glasses. So first of all, I always I follow the rule ABC. Always be careful. No matter what, protect yourselves first. Everything else after. So if you are protected, everyone else is protected. So preventions. There are many ways accidents can be prevented and or reduced. So employers must make sure workers are properly trained. They know what they're doing. There's using signs. So you should be using signs with slip resistant, slippery floor, or in a construction area. There should be signs, wear hard hats, safety glasses, safety boots, and workers should be wearing appropriate footwear. So if they're working in construction, they should be wearing safety shoes. And if they're working in a kitchen, they should be wearing slip resistant shoes. So workers are supposed to have proper knowledge of equipment, how to use a ladder, how to tighten their harness properly, fall arrest, how to locate an anchor point. And workers should be reporting all fall hazards, and they should be learning from previous incidents. So in most job sites, they have post orders, so a worker can read through that and learn of the previous incidents that have happened and prevent it. Also, if there are obstacles in the way, you should move them. So if there's boxes or whatever in the way, you should move them to the side. And you should always clean up spills. Don't wait until the end of your shift to clean up something. Make equipment should be always maintained. You shouldn't have a rusty ladder or a loose bolt in something. You should always have proper equipment and equipment that is maintained. So where can it occur? So injuries can occur anywhere. Doesn't have to be up high. It could be on the ground. So there are two types of falls. The first one is a low level fall. So low level falls, as I said, can occur anywhere at different types of workplaces. High level falls are usually construction, roofing, windows. So real life accidents. So this is an example of a real life accident where there were two workers working at Eden Center and they were installing stairs. Ministry of Labor said that one worker who was 34 years old fell and he died, while the other one just or the other man only slightly injured. The ministry said in an email on that day that the worker was one who fell from the second floor. So what happened was that they were installing stairs for a company, and the floor gave away. So in order to prevent this, engineers should come on the site before something is being started. And they should check if the surface is strong enough to hold. This should be done in order to prevent accidents. So after the incident, two ministry inspectors and ministry engineers were on site. That should have been done before and not after an accident happens. So they ordered the construction company not to disturb the scene. There were no further updates, but it looks like and usually when a death occurs, they have to call and a lot of people to investigate, examine stuff. So it's really bad and it should be prevented. So these are the references I used, and thank you for watching.